Good evening, friends and enjoyers. I hope you're alright, because it's time for 48-hour analysis. Yes, just 2 days ago, all 8 of these skins rotated into the Rust store. The Rust store just before Easter, I should point out. And basically, in this video, we're going to go ahead and look at their progress based on sales and try and figure out, are these skins still potentially leading towards the likelihood of being nice investments, or are they potentially going to have some problems that we need to be aware of? So should I jump in? Shall we get started? So what we're currently looking at, well, this is the first 24 hours of sales. Yes, with every brand new Rust store, 24 hours later, I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it on Twitter. Why do we do this? Well, we can make comparisons to previous weeks and we can get a good idea how they're currently performing, what's their momentum looking like. And I'll be honest with you, these actually sold quite alright. Not insanely, but a lot better than what we're expecting. So when we had our Rust store rotation, when I first saw these skins, I was a little bit, I'll be straightforward with you, disappointed. I thought we were going to get some interesting clothing and armour, and we didn't. Nope, it's just tools, weapons, and deplorables, and it is what it is. But looking at the skins that are accepted, I did point out, I get the feeling this is like the Pseudo last Rust store of the month, because of course the next two Rust stores are expected to be Easter skins, and we're not going to have the last Rust store of the month then, are we? Because of course we have Easter on March 31st, so I'm sure you can get the idea. So when you look at the people that got these acceptances, yeah, it was people that don't normally get that many acceptances. The common trend for what we see with the last Rust store of the month. So it is what it is, but the skins, they're not doing too bad. So if we were to compare to the previous week, so we've got a top seller of 8,000 bare minimum sales, that's the subscriber count, with the likes of the Spill MP5. If we go back to a previous week, it doesn't really compare to these skins well, does it? What about the week before that, with the most recent last Rust store of the month? And it's doing better than these skins. So, you know, at the end of the day, these skins, it is what it is. It's not the best, but hey, it's nice to see some variety, you know? But I also want to get some nice investments in, and I did leave a statement with the likes of my Rust store rotation and predictions video. I just kind of said, you know what, guys, maybe for the next 3 Rust stores, including this one, maybe we're just going to save our money and not really attack it. Well, it's been 2 days. What are these skins looking at right now? Or looking at what are they looking like? That's what I mean to say. English, I can speak it, I'm sure. Anyway, so it's been 2 days and a bit, you know, it's been a couple more hours, but either way, we can get a good idea of where these skins are likely going to lead into in terms of their total sales by Wednesday and whatnot, and we can discuss right now, is everything still looking to be perfectly fine investments? So let's get started. Let's start talking about the likes of the Spill MP5. So I've been looking at some people's responses and whatnot, and it really does look like people actually do appreciate the Spill MP5, the top selling skin so far this week. And yeah, it's got a nice pattern to it, and I know Mr. Sadist was intending to turn this into a collection with many other weapon skins, which you can see right here with a Python and an AK47. Wouldn't be surprised if he leans back into that with even more weapons being produced from here and now. So if you like this design, keep showing your support, keep an eye on the workshop and whatnot. But in regards to its current placement with its sales, let's just quickly compare to all the other MP5s that have come out somewhat recently, and I'm talking over the past year or so. And we have to remind all of you that MP5s aren't exactly in a spectacular position. There still seems to be some issues in regards to gun demand. How frequently, or, you know, how favourably is the weapon compared to many other weapons and whatnot? And unfortunately, looking at the state of all the skins and whatnot, it still doesn't look like it's got a solid place. Now, it's not like we have an abundance of MP5s, because, you know, when we look at the likes of AK47s, which we know everybody wants to use, there's a problem of there's far too many options, there's far too many skins. So we don't have that here. We've got like 3 times less MP5 skins compared to the AK47, so let's just rule that out. So if you can understand this, if the weapon itself doesn't have that much demand, where's the justification for a skin? And therefore, if there's no justification to own a skin, all the skin prices are expected to suffer because of that. And when you look at all the skins that have come out in the recent past, or let's just say about 2 years, that's recent enough, don't you think? We've only got the Blackout MP5, which is unfortunate. Now, most skins at the moment, they are suffering a fair bit, what with it being Easter time, you know, the Easter dip. You know, if we quickly look at the likes of the player counts, whilst today was pretty okay, overall it is trending downwards, but this is a normal thing that happens every single year, and about around the summertime we should expect a nice rebound and a nice increase in player count, with of course the skins improving. But point I'm trying to get across is, I don't think an MP5 such as this is going to be a spectacular investment. And with its momentum, I mean, it's nice to see it's doing well. You know, by all means, if you like a skin, buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them motivated, keep wanting to put out very nice creative designs in the future. But I just don't really like it based on the fact that it's an MP5. Not hating the skin, I think it's fine. It's nice to see a nice creative design like that. But based on what I've seen there with the recent skins from the somewhat recent past. Yeah, I'm questioning it quite a lot. And I did make quite a fuss about this MP5 that we did have quite recently. Well, mainly Hedge MP5 that was given away for free just 2 months ago with a very useful aim sight where, you know, it doesn't really have an aim sight. It's just got like a lot of transparency so you can see so much more. That was given away for free. Lots of people are appreciating that. And well, somewhat recently we had this MP5. The Apocalypse MP5. The Apocalypse Nomad, I should say. And we have that. And that is probably the best marketable skin for an MP5 that we've had with an aim sight like that. What I'm saying is that's the best aim sight that we've had from a marketable MP5 skin. Better than the Blackout MP5. And yet still, it's in a negative. So I do believe partly the reason why the Blackout MP5 is doing so well is because it's a Blackout MP5, a very well established and beloved collection. So unfortunately that's struggling, and this is just a standard MP5 in a sense of, well, just take a look at its aim sight, and yeah, you can see, yeah. So kind of started there a bit. So unfortunately, looking at the state of that, I think it's not going to do all right, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say it, but yeah, I feel like I've justified myself enough to point that out. Now, where will it potentially end up at? I don't know where it's going to... I reckon it'll probably reach about 16,000 sales. I think that'll probably be it. Yeah, that'll probably be it. So, yeah, 16,000 sales, but I think I'm probably going to stick with doing a barter of around $1. We'll talk more about this on Wednesday. That skin is not abnormal. But either way, I'm not confident in it, I'm afraid. It's more about the weapon than the skin. So, by all means, if you like it, you know what to do. Shall we move on? All right, let's talk about the Blackberry Furnace. So I had a little bit of optimism with this, I was about to say MP5 again, this furnace. So I'm sure many of you are aware, in recent times I have been very hesitant with furnace skins. Now, by default, they tend to not do very well. But this is a little bit special. This one's a little bit more unique. And let's just quickly point this out again. If you were to look at all the most recent furnaces, you might notice that a lot of them are struggling pretty badly. Let's go as far back as about a year. Let's go do that. So I'm very surprised to see that one's been doing all right, but I still get the feeling it's simply because people just aren't listing theirs below $2. We'll see how that turns out, you know, over the course of the next few weeks. But looking at all of these MP5s, furnaces that came out last year, you might notice there's not many of them that are in the positive. And the ones that are in the positive have a very unique detail behind them based on the fact that they have a different coloured interior. See, by default, most of these furnaces have an orange, a red, or a yellow interior. Whereas this has purple, and this has pink. And this right here, it's purpley pink. Yeah! Now you might also point out the spider cocoon furnace, and you are correct. This, unfortunately, is the anomaly. But I believe the reason why this suffered so much is because so many of them were bought. However, I will just quickly point this out. There's not that many of them on the Steam market. Honestly, that could recover and turn around and do quite all right in the future. But we shall see. We shall see. But it could do a turnaround. There's nothing there. Nothing there. So maybe in the future. But these two skins right here, the Neon Vibes Furnace and the Abyss Furnace, are the perfect examples of this interesting little detail in regards to, well, if they appeared, we could show them. Thanks, Steam. Right, there we go. Yes. So these are doing very nicely. These are doing very wonderfully. Both of these skins comfortably in the positive. And if I were to show you all of the furnaces based on price, you'll see that most of these types of furnaces end up becoming the more expensive ones. So as we look over to here, you got Toxic Furnace there. You got Ghostly Flame Furnace. You got Neon Vibes Furnace. You've got Abyss Furnace. You got Blackberry Furnace right there. I mean, it doesn't really count because it's currently in Rustle, but let's just move on. We do have Tribe Furnace right there. That's down by 3%, which is quite unfortunate. And then you got Spider Cocoon Furnace. But out of all of these other furnaces, every single one of them is red, orange, or yellow interior. So you can understand now that there is a bit of a special, interesting detail in regards to interiors. But with its current sales, is this potentially going to end up like Neon Vibes, or is this going to end up potentially like Spider Cocoon Furnace? Based on the sales that I currently see, I think that's going to probably do less sales compared to the Neon Vibes Furnace. So again, if we were to just quickly refer back to that, how many sales did Neon Vibes have? The answer is 17,800 bare minimum sales subscriber count. Now, I will point this out. Neon Vibes does have a collection. It is part of a deplorable collection. It hasn't done insanely in terms of the collection getting like... I think it's got like 3 acceptances. We'll take a look at that in a real quick second. But this right here, who knows? Maybe Hessiam decides to make a Blackberry deplorable set of something. We shall see. In fact, we could go to the workshop page. We could read the comments, but it doesn't look like anyone's actually asked. So, at the end of the day, with its current progress, I think that's going to probably only do about 14,000 sales, which is relatively low. Like, there'll be half as much of these compared to likes of the Spider Cocoon Furnace. So, looking at that, it's goofy, it's fruit, it's juicy. Yes, a lot of people have been asking about this. Hedge, why does it say juicy? Or juicy effect? That's just a joke. Alright, that's just a joke. If I were to go look up the capybara skins, do you remember this? We have a little, like, joke in regards to what we see on the side. So if you look over to here, to the right, you'll see. And when it loads, there you go. Pull up, then push down, and then pull up and smelt. So, you know the capybara meme, when it goes, okay, I pull up, now I'm at the after party. You know, you've seen the video, it's goofy. It's just a joke, alright? So don't look at this and think, what does this mean? What does this mean? Nothing, it's just a joke. Chill out, please. So, if this worked out very nicely, and again, it's very bright and shiny and cool, I guess you could see something similar happening in regards to the likes of our brand new Blackberry Furnace here. I don't expect it to be doing ridiculous sales, and again, if it does about 14,000 sales, let's just quickly compare that based on, subscriber counts. So if I go over to here, we'll go by higher subscriber counts, and this is like smack dab in the middle. So it's not selling ridiculously. And if we do go higher up to about 14,000 sales, yeah, it might be in the upper half, but it's still not ridiculous. So overall, I'm looking at that with a lot more optimism now. I think that actually might work out quite alright. And if anything, it's also abnormal, alright? That's a very useful thing, alright? So we're going to look at this on Wednesday night. We're going to discuss what prices we might want to offer, and then we're going to go and attack. Because out of all the furnaces I've seen fairly recently, that one right there seems to be special enough where I might be doing a decent build on it. And then afterwards we'll look at the support and consider even buying some. So with that, let's leave that for now. Let's move on. Let's start talking about the likes of the clown-based garage door. And I've been seeing a lot of people appreciating this. It's a very nice, cool, comfy looking garage door. Problem is this literally just appeared after we had a very cool looking garage door with the previous rust door. So let's just quickly go ahead and take a look at that. Because this clown-based garage door appearing did not do this any favours. So right now, blocky rig garage door, which did about 30,000 sales, and of course there'll be a lot more in circulation on like private accounts and whatnot. We're looking at the state of that. It's currently got 42 quantity, selling at $2.73. Now the bar does only went up to $2 if you can recall. Let's see how that holds from here and now. It was going below its rust door price for a while, seems to have recovered a fair bit, but looking at the state of this garage door over here, I can't help but assume, simply because we had that cool looking blocky rig garage door the previous week, I don't think people feel the need to buy this, which is okay in regards to this being a nice investment. At the current rate this is selling, I think at best it'll probably do 13 to maybe 15,000 sales if people want to jump in at the last second to buy some, but that isn't a ridiculous amount. That seems fairly tame. That could also lead to that potentially having a bit of a nice, increase in price as time goes on, so as long as it remains in demand. But I have to repeat this and, remind you, we tend to get a lot of garage doors. And, this literally appearing just after a cool looking garage door the previous week, well, that just kind of sets the tone. So we're, 9 weeks into this year? And wait, 9 or 10? No, we're 10 weeks into this year. Yeah, 10 weeks into this year, and we've already got 6 garage door skins, alright? Last year we got 28, and the year before that we got 28, so you can kind of understand that we're going to basically see a garage door every other week. And unfortunately, when you look at all the garage doors that we got last year, you might notice that a lot of them were quite interesting, a lot of them were quite cool. And of course Twitch drops. The Twitch drops are cool as well, but that amounts to the likes of some very cool looking garage doors of the past, unfortunately, going below their rust door price because there's far too many interesting cool looking options. And there's only so much love to go around. So some very cool looking garage doors of the past eventually start suffering. And yeah, it is surprising to see. It was surprised to see that just get purchased. Anyway. Oh, wait, was that someone buying one? I don't know. Okay, we'll just move on. But the point I'm trying to get across is, you might say, oh, wow, that's cool, that's amazing, I've never seen anything like that. Well, guess what? In about a week's time, or a month's time, or a couple months' time, there'll be another garage door that'll make you say the exact same thing. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Whilst it might be special now, unfortunately there'll be other special garage doors at some point in the future. And let's not rule out the idea of potentially seeing even more Twitch drops that are garage doors, because that seems to be a very common theme, a very common thing to see. So, cool. So, at the end of the day, I will want to wait until Wednesday. That is abnormal. We'll see how many sales have happened, and we'll discuss how we might want to approach it. But just kind of consider this. You might want to put a decent buy order down, and the price might hold for now, and it might do all right during the summer, but how will that perform as time goes on, as more garage doors appear, and then we reach the likes of the autumn fall seasonal dip? Do you know what I mean? You got that in your head now, don't you? So I don't want to sound like I'm fear-mongering or whatever, but you get the idea. Like, you've got to keep this into consideration. You've got to understand that potential bad things are always on the horizon, and the autumn-fall seasonal dip is the worst thing possible. So, yeah, we've got to wait it out. I'm a little bit hesitant with that now, but maybe things might not be so bad. Regardless, cool-looking garage door. Congratulations, Kazari, on getting another skin accepted. But let's move on. Let's start talking about the Chameleon Python. So, Python revolvers, or just Pythons for short, they don't seem to be doing super great. Not really, no. In fact, the only Python that's doing alright is the Blackout Python. But that does have an interesting detail. It's got, like, transparent aim sights, so that's cool. Plus, it's also a blackout skin, so it gets a lot more love. So, anyway, if I were to look at all of these by highest price, well, we do have a decent amount of them that are actually in the positive and selling for a decent price over here. But, yeah, it's quite not very assuring to see with this currently in the Rust store at $2.49, and it's one of the more expensive Pythons. That's actually, oh dear. So that's not a very positive outlook. So I'm a little bit hesitant, purely based on the weapon itself. Now, you might sit and say, but Hedge, the Chameleon collection, isn't it doing all right? Well, I mean, it's not doing awful. Could be doing better. So, yeah, this is a bit awkward. But basically, in the lead up to the end of last year, Chameleon Collection was doing very well. But unfortunately, when we got to around post-Christmas time, a lot of skins just kind of, like, crashed. And unfortunately, a lot of these skins here have had a bit of a downward turn. But the weird thing is, some of them justifiably are doing bad based on, you know, very high quantities. Like, for example, here with the AK47, there's 200 quantity, and that's doing it no favours. Yep, you can see that right there. Someone's China list 29 all right there. Don't know why they do this. It's not very smart. You're not going to get that much profit out of this. I mean, you're not going to get any profit out of this doing that. But then, when you look at the likes of the SAR here, well, the SAR only has 61 listings on the Steam market, and that's very strange to me. Because, of course, typically, most skins on the Rust Steam market, they have, like, around 100 quantity on average. That's called below average. Yeah, it's not doing very well. Yet when I look at it, it's very thin. That could rebound. As long as there's a reasonable bit of interest there, that could get bought out and rise up in price, and it could do so much better. Again, all of this could change once we hit the summertime. Alright? Less people playing at the moment, but we expect a lot more to appear around the summertime. Maybe we'll see some more because we've got the spring sale going on Steam at the moment. We shall see, we shall see. Anyway, going back over to here, with the likes of this Python skin, I just want to quickly show you all the other Pythons that have come out somewhat in the past, because at the moment this has got 7,000 sales. I could see this doing about 11 to 12,000 sales. Well, guess what? This did 10,000, this did 12,500, this did 6,600. It's low poly. A chemical burn here, 4,000, 5,900. Yeah. That's not looking very good, is it? By default, based on what I'm seeing with all of these other Pythons, I'm not confident. But maybe it's because people just don't like the other designs. Maybe they actually appreciate the holographic Chameleon Python, which, you know, with all due respect, it does look very nice, shiny and cool. So, here you go. Get a good look at that. Mr. Milho Frito putting out a very splendid looking skin for the eyes. Oh yes. Very exquisite, very shiny. And we don't really have any other skin that's like this design, do we? No other skin collection is similar to this. Well, until someone tries it themselves. But yeah, very nice, very cool. And will it be appreciated? At least appreciated more compared to the other Python skins. I can't confirm that because I haven't put a survey out asking every single Rust skin player, have I? At the end of the day, I can see it doing better, performing better, but better doesn't mean it's still going to be alright in terms of a nice investment. But with a smart buy order, maybe. So, it's a $2.49 Python skin. It is abnormal. We'll look at it Wednesday. We'll see how many sales it's reached by then, and we'll consider what we want to do in terms of what prices we might want to offer. But by default, Not exactly super enthusiastic for the likes of Pythons, alright? So, yeah. Shall we move on? Skullforce AK47. So, this was a bit of a surprise. I get the feeling Face Punchers really wanted to show its support for the likes of the Skullforce collection with the surprise AK47, which I should point out to you was in the workshop for 10 weeks. Not 10 months, 10 weeks. I made a mistake when I did my predictions video, I believe. So, yeah, you probably noticed that when I said that. So, Skullforce, I know for a fact, is going to be getting some more primitive skins being produced for it. But I don't think that's going to be happening for a while because, of course, Easter time. But it is expected to happen. I don't think primitive skins are going to have a nice positive impact on the likes of an AK-47. I should also point out, I don't think AK-47s are doing super great regardless. We did point this out earlier when I talked about the MP5, because when we look at the likes of the amount of AK-47 skins we have, we've got over 240. Yeah, we have far too many. Far too many options to pick from. And unfortunately, all the skins that have come out so far this year, which I should point out, 10 weeks into this year, and we've already got 10 AK-47 skins. Awesome. Right, back over to here. Remember last year we got 44, including Twitch drops and whatnot. We are not going to be surprised to see another AK-47 potentially being accepted next week, because over the past 6 weeks, every week following after the previous week, we've had another AK-47. So, an AK, next week, 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 an AK. Cool. Awesome. So you should be surprised in the slide to see all of them in the negative. Now, there are some, like Thundergold AK-47, where it's only down by 5%. That one's special. That one actually is doing a fairly decent job retaining its value. But when you look at the likes of the Mythical Dragon AR, which sold for the same price and is doing negative 68%, yeah, that's like the expectation for most AK-47s. For you see, an AK that would sell for about $2 usually ends up selling for around a lot less than $1. It's unfortunate, but that is the usual expectation. We have far too many options, and unfortunately, whilst you might look at that and say, okay, that's $2, I could easily sit here and say, well, you know what, we'll look at highest price. And that's selling for $2. That selling at $2 is in the upper half. By default, every single weapon and tool skin, right? Every single weapon and tool skin sells for $1.99. This is just selling for its standard price, and it's in the upper half. That means about, let's sit here and say maybe about 140 AK-47s are selling for less than their Rust price. That's the state that they're in. That's not good. So anyway, when I look at that, for $2, instead, I could probably go ahead and buy a Midnight Ghost AK-47, or Apocalypse Night AK-47, or what else? We've got Quarantine AK-47. Maybe I'll go up a little bit more. I could buy a Midnight Dream. I could get Desert Raiders. If I spent a little bit more money, I could get Retrowave. Do you understand this situation? For around the same price, people can look at other options. And, well, yeah. Now, when I look at the likes of this AK-47, someone just had to tell me, Hedge, it's got a smiley face. And I was like, do you see a smiley face on me? I don't trust AK-47s as investments. Yeah, it's cute. I see it. I understand. It does have a useful aim sight. I'm not going to hate the design. It's fine. It's perfectly fine for what it is. But does it stand out enough to really get everybody wanting to chase after it, crave it, scream for it? Unfortunately, I don't think so. Now, if we keep seeing more of this Skullforce collection, yeah, maybe some things could work out for it and it does better. I'm not going to rule out that possibility. But it's come out fairly early in its, life as a collection. We shall see what happens next from here. But it's going to be expected that it's going to be primitive skins. Burlap shirt and pants and hide shirt and pants. Not sure which one it's going to be, but we'll see. At the end of the day, if you like the design, if you're a fan of it, if you like the set, consider buying it. Show your support to the skin creator. Keep them motivated to keep wanting to put out more skins for this collection. But by default, I'm not super enthusiastic, and it's mainly due to the fact that it's an AK-47 skin rather than it being a Skullforce skin. Understood? And I should point this out, and we will show this to you in a little bit later. There's been some funny business with that poncho. We'll discuss that in a bit. Right, so we talked about the AK-47. Let's go ahead and talk about the Facet sheet metal door. Now, this is weird because it's supposed to be called Facet. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Facet? I don't know. Anyway, it's a bit of a goofy design, a bit strange. I'm not sure if it's for everyone, but I'll be honest with you, I am so checked out with sheet metal doors. Again, much like with AK-47s, how many I can't say it properly anymore. I keep talking too quickly. Yeah, okay. So basically, the point I was trying to say is we're 10 weeks into the year, and we got 9 sheet metal doors already. Last year, we got 30 in total. The year before that, we got 28. So you should expect a lot of sheet metal doors to appear. And by that I mean, look at that and question, do you think we might see another interesting, cool-looking sheet metal door appear this year? Yes, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Also, don't forget Twitch drops. Yeah, Twitch drops. So, I can't help but assume a $1.49 sheet metal door like that is going to probably end up behaving the exact same way as the Inquisitor sheet metal door. It was a perfectly grounded, yet strange-looking design. Doesn't matter. People didn't care for it. It's now selling for 58 cents. And unfortunately, I sit here and I say, looking at the Facet sheet metal door, doesn't seem to have a lot of traction in terms of its sales, doesn't seem to have a lot of momentum. I can't help but assume it's going to end up exactly in the same position as the Inquisitor metal door. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing even more sheet metal doors being produced and accepted at some point from here and now. Don't forget, with the likes of Easter, there's been a lot of deplorables produced, guys. It's ridiculous. So, it is what it is. So, yeah, I think it's going to end up exactly like Inquisitor. Doesn't really matter how many sales it's going to do. It's just going to end up at the same point, I'm afraid. And then we've got the inflatable stone tools, and unfortunately, just take a look at all the stone tools that are submitted over the past years, accepted as well, and well, that's in the negative, that's in the negative, that's in the negative, that's in the negative, except these two. So that came out, what, in 2020? Basically, guys, go take a look at all of these, based on highest price, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We only have 7 sets out of about, I'd say at least 47. Well, I mean, it have to be that. There might be some that were accepted all by themselves. Anyway, yeah, less than a quarter of these end up in the positive. That's the main point I'm trying to get across. People do not care for them. People do not care for you. People like you. They hate you. Yeah, that's awkward. That's not something I feel confident in jumping into. So I'm looking at these inflatable tools, and well, by default, take a look at the inflatable collection, because what do you see? Yeah, it's not super great. I would have liked the hammer. We didn't get it. I thought the crossbow looked cool as well. But anyway, unfortunately, yeah, that's going to probably end up being a 60 cent to 80 cent bar order. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, it is what it is, I'm afraid. So, yeah, that was fairly quick. I mean, by my standards, that was fairly quick. But I don't really imagine many of these skins are going to be doing super great as time goes on. I'm honestly looking at these skins and just thinking, I'm probably just going to stick with doing a barter for every single one, and I'll be satisfied with that. I'll be happy. You know, it sucks to say, but like, looking at this with the financial perspective, I've got to look at this with a more realistic understanding. And I know we're going to keep seeing more skins being accepted for likes of garage doors and sheet metal doors and AK-47s and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, people's attention are just going to go straight towards the new thing and completely forget these things. It's unfortunate, but yeah. But at the very least, like I said, with some of these skin creators, they don't get that many skins accepted, so it's their time to shine, you know. Let them have their fun, let them have their joy. Not you, Mill Health Retail, you keep getting skins accepted regardless all the time anyway. But, you know, you got Shawmick here, who's only had a few. Mad Polly did get a few. It does get a few every now and then. It's not a ridiculous amount, but it's like an every now and then sort of situation. Man Behind the Low Poly collection, for example. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to see in regards to the likes of the acceptances for the Easter skins, but I have put a video out talking about the skins that are notably continuations. So don't forget, you could just go to scmm.app and you could go to the workshop. So here, item workshop, click that. You could just see all the skins here. And there were a lot of very interesting skins that are submitted. You could see all of these right here in front of you. You don't even have to set up a batch of people to follow on the likes of the Rust Workshop. You could just watch them all from here if you so wish. And you might notice, by default, the vast majority of skins that we see here, yeah, they're deplorables. They're deplorables. And, well, I do talk all about this over here in the likes of my Rust Workshop skin checks video, which you can see right here. And, of course, if you want to be able to just skip ahead to the skins that might interest you, just go to the description, and you will see, not only do I provide all the links to the workshop links to the skins that I showcase in order of appearance, but if you go to the chapters, yes, I provide chapters that you can just skip ahead immediately to the skins that interest you. So yeah, consider giving that a watch to get a good idea of some notable skin collections that very likely will be getting continuations accepted, so, you know. And, well, Easter. By default, I don't think I'm going to be doing like any major investment towards it. Like well, if I just show you here. So, if I just show you these two skins from the last year, you might think, oh, people surely are buying these out now in anticipation for Easter. No, No. No. And then week 2, no. 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 Easter doesn't get any love, I'm afraid. It does not get any love. It is what it is. So whilst we might see some very interesting goofy bunnies and chocolate and carrots and chickens next week, by default, I'm not looking at it with any optimism. Sorry to say, but yeah, that's the state of things at the moment. But at the very least, at least you know you don't have to go crazy in regards to wanting to put some money aside or keep some money aside in case you want to do some buy orders or make some investments and whatnot. It's nice to just relax for a while. What's going to come out for April Fool's Swipe though? Ooh, I don't know, but we'll see. So I wanted to talk about last week's skins. There was some interesting details that happened. I did bring this up during my Rust store rotation video. So again, go over to here. Consider giving that a watch, because when we looked at the likes of the Imperial Thompson, for example, I noticed something very strange going on. So I've got these links prepared, and I've got the likes of the Skullforce Tide Poncho, and of course I've got the likes of the Imperial Thompson. Now a lot of people on YouTube were pointing this out to me, and I was like, guys, I've already talked about this. It's in my Rust store rotation video. Yes, someone put down a ridiculous buy order on both the Skullforce Tide Poncho and of course the Imperial Thompson. Now initially for the Skullforce Hide Poncho, there was an $8 buy order. That was there for a bit, but then it changed to a $3 buy order. Not sure what was going on, but for a very long time, this has been sitting here at $3. It's nice to see, if it's very cool. But the thing is though, is that buy order was there when it was still in the Rust store. Yeah. And I don't know why. And the same applies to the Thompson. However, this was abnormal and the Thompson was not, alright? So just keep that in mind, right? So this was abnormal. It was on the Steam market for about 12 hours before the Rust rotation happened. So during that time, yes, it was listed here at $3 a piece. People were selling them to the highest buy order because, I'll be honest with you, not surprising, I don't really think that's going to retain its value at $3 if that buy order wasn't there. And with the Thompson, well, the second that the $8 buy order disappeared, and there's 100 quantity of it, 100 quantity at $8, immediately people start unloading their stock down to $3. And I can't help but assume it's not going to hold and it will go down below its Rust store price. Very unfortunate to see, isn't it? But that's what happened. Now, you might sit there and say, do you have proof? Unfortunately, the accounts have gone private. But if you go look at my Rust store rotation video, look at the chapters, I do point it out, you'll see this is the account behind it all. This account was the one that was behind all the skins. And apparently, it does have certain other accounts that are affiliated with it. And, well, what do we have here? Another account. And what happens is on these accounts, they'd have some fairly expensive knives, and I'm under the impression that they'll sell them, get the Steam funds, and then just go randomly buy out something or put a strong barter down on something. The question is, though, why? Why? Because here's another thing. Do you remember that situation with the cyber armor, vests? It's another one. It was another guy. Don't remember what's going on? Let me explain. So about, 2 weeks ago, we had cyber armor chest plate. How'd you spell it? Steam, come on now, stop being weird. We had the cyber armor vest with the other tier 2 pieces in the Rust store, and of course it was abnormal, so it appeared on the Steam market for a good half a day before the Rust store rotation happened. But someone immediately jumps in and puts down a $5 buy order on them. And yeah, can you see that? Do you see that right there? So initially, for a good couple of days or so, this had a $5 buy order. And yeah, people unloading their stock straight to it, because of course, it's never going to go back up to $5 again, is it? No, it's cyber, isn't it? Anyway, that happened, and then they all got bought, and then since then it's just gone down. Where's the end game? Why? Is it a sense of someone's already bought a ton of these skins, right, on the day that they appeared in the Rust store, and that means they would become available as soon as the next Rust store rotates by default. And maybe they thought, okay, if I immediately start buying these at $8 a piece, I could then go ship them off to third-party sites that don't know any better, and I could unload all of them at $8 because it would follow the price that it sees on the Steam market, the bad ones I should point out, and that they can cash out and get some actual genuinely valuable skins. I've never thought that this would be a possible thing to do, but that's the best answer I have. That, or they just don't like money and they're just giving it away. Because like I said, the very second that $8 builder disappeared, so much more of these started to appear in the Steam market, and they're all now at $3. And I wouldn't be surprised, give it another week, they'll probably be below $2. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. So it was a very, very, very strange thing that happened, but it happened. And yeah, you saw it all for yourself. If you own one of these Thompsons and you sold it for $8, congratulations, spectacular flip, you did the right thing. I don't know if this is going to magically rise back up in price again with the guy returning to try and buy out some, but for the life of me, I have absolutely no idea how that could work in a positive outcome. I genuinely am stumped. I just can't see it working, but I guess it works somehow, some way. Maybe there's some sort of websites and third-party sites that we don't know of that are vulnerable to, well, things like this. Because it has to lead to something, I'm sure. I just don't fully know what. So that's your little story in regards to those skins right there. So Skullforce, Hide Poncho, and Imperial Thompson had some sort of strange manipulation going on. It is what it is. So congrats if you sold to them. Right, so earlier we did talk about the likes of the Blocky Rig Garage Door. That sold quite nicely, of course, with 30,000 sales. It did dip below its rust door price a fair bit, you know, likely due to the fact that we just got another interesting looking garage door being accepted. But it did recover, it did better. Now let's go ahead and talk about the likes of these Legacy Kevlar roadside gloves and boots. So we were questioning, oh, do we actually want to jump in and buy some of these? Does everything look quite alright? And I ended up buying 50 of them. I waited until Thursday, and, well, should I go take a look at them now? So these sold for 99 cents each. It's not surprising to see they sold very well, especially considering with, you know, Legacy Kevlar with its fun, you know, behaviour. But I want to show you something with these boots and gloves when they appear. Other people exist. Other people exist. Other people exist. Ooh, other people exist. So they bought them for 99 cents, and then they unloaded all of their stock in the Steam market to make a 1 penny profit, a 1 cent profit. I hate other people so much. Now, I look at this in a way that does make sense. I get the feeling this is an intimidation tactic. I get the feeling they've done this on purpose to scare other people into selling to these higher priced buy orders here. And once they've collected even more, they'll remove those quantities of, you know, they'll remove the quantity of these, and then they'll probably maybe buy out a few more of them and make it appear to be around $2 and whatnot. So by squeezing out all of the other people who are more likely to panic and sell their things, once they collected enough and they're satisfied, then they'll let it flow up in price. And then it will keep rising. So, one quick question you're probably going to ask. Hedge, is there anything going on with the Legacy Kevlar collection now? Or is it like completely done? Having spoken to the skin creator, he does actually intend to make a jacket. That'll probably be ready for April Force White. So I have contacted him, spoken to him. Yes, you can expect more. And yes, a jacket would have a nice positive impact. But do you know what's not a positive impact? This! Like I said, I don't think it's stupidity. I think that's done on purpose. I feel like they're trying to squeeze out other people to make them panic and make them sell to these buy orders so that they get even more, and then they can make the price rise up a lot easier for themselves to make much better profits. So yeah, that's the state of Legacy Kevlar. Keep an eye on that. Don't cave in. Wait it out. Or, you know, if you're desperate, you could go sell back to them if you really want to. Right, so that's the state of the skins from the past week. How about the skins from the last Rust Door of February? And unfortunately, they're all now in the negative. It's very unfortunate to see. The likes of the Thundergold SAR, though, it's not too bad. It's only down by 6%. Let's see if that, you know, potentially has a turnaround. rises back up in price. How about February 22nd? Right, so Flashbacks, Hoodie and Pants. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What's happened? Well, we never got the tier 3, did we? Now, I didn't want to bring this up, but hey, guys, look. There's actually a slim chance you could actually see this for the April Force wipe. Tier 3, that is. So, yeah, people didn't get instant gratification, people didn't get the continuation, and, well, they started unloading their stock, and now we're pushing up to about 200 quantity. It is very unfortunate, but I'll be honest with you, it's very thin still. And just to point this out, half of the quantity is listed above $3. So if you're looking at this and thinking, it's doomed! At the end of the day, mate, it's still very good, cheap, affordable green camouflage for the hoodie and pants. Do you know how much the Forest Raiders hoodie and pants costs? Why don't we go take a look? Forest Raiders. I spelt it wrong. I put a B. Oh no. Come on, thank you. The Forest Raiders hoodie and pants are currently selling for $14 for the hoodie, $28, almost $29 for the pants. Why are people selling their flashbacks at $1.50? I do not know. I do not know. I am confused and surprised by it, especially with the chance of we could still see a version 2 of the tier 3 armor, you fools! So yeah, people just panicking and unloading their stock, and it's like, you give up too easily. You give up too quickly. And like I said, even if we don't see any more flashback skins, these are still very nice, cheap, affordable alternatives to Forest Raiders hoodie and pants. You could buy those instead and save yourself $40. Yes, and it does pair up perfectly fine with the likes of the Forest Raiders armor, if you had to do that. Forest Raiders armor is of course expensive, but hey, if you can save $40 and getting a full set up for the likes of Green Forest camouflage, yes, it's still good. So, again, confused, but, you know, other people exist and other people just assume, oh, if I just buy these skins and wait a while, I can just sell them in the future for a profit. Surely we'll get that tier 3 armor accepted, and then when they see it isn't accepted, they scream and then they cry and then they just immediately panic and unload their stock. Guys, we'll just probably have to wait for a version 2. And let me remind you, the flashback set, the hoodie and pants, they were version 2s. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Now, when I look at likes of these other skins, Damascus, unfortunately, the tier 2 is going down in price. Not surprising, though. So we made a big fuss about this, didn't we? The tier 2 sold far too much in comparison to the pre-existing other core pieces. These 4 skins, on average, only did about 13,000 sales. These, on average, did about 19 to 20,000 sales. There's far too many of these in comparison to these. And unfortunately, the boots and the gloves did follow suit with the tier 2. They sold too much, especially compared to these. Unfortunately, they're also suffering as well. So, yeah, learn from these things. This is why I make a big fuss about matching up to the quantities in the same collection and whatnot. And it's very unfortunate to see that the Respawn Allegory Fresco is now suffering. It's gone below its rostral price by a fair bit. Not a ton, but a bit. And, well, like I said, most skins at the moment, they are struggling. They are suffering. Easter dip isn't fun. And, well, I don't think we've even reached the worst of it yet. So, as you can see right there, it's selling for $1.50. That's just one listing. You got 2, 3... You got, like, maybe about less than... Yeah, you got less than 10 listings below $1.50. That could easily turn around and improve around the summertime. So, we'll just have to keep an eye on all of it. So back over to here, all of these other skins, well, it's not too surprising that some of these have suffered. And if we go to the likes of the big fat batch of skins, well, the extra 6 skins that we saw when we had the likes of these, Valentine's and Lunar New Year skins, I mean, some of them are doing okay, some of them are dipping a fair bit, but they're not crashing and burning. Oh, I'm sick a little bit there. Oh, I hated the sight of seeing negative outcomes. Oh. Sorry about that. Ugh. That wasn't good. Right, anyway. Ugh. It's probably because I looked at the state of the corn door. I don't actually like corn. It does actually make me gag. But, yeah. Corn door has absolutely been destroyed. Look at the state of it. Yeah. I wasn't confident in you, and I feel like I made a good call there. Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, Valentine skins, how are they holding up? Well, some of them are doing perfectly fine. The double door actually worked out very nicely. And then we got the likes of the boots and the gloves. Let me remind you, the boots and the gloves sold a lot less compared to the rest of the set, and it's only succeeded greatly because of that. So, yeah, comfortably in the positive here, comfortably in the positive here. It is what it is. All right, so unfortunately the Sheepman door is suffering a fair bit, but the garage door that it's a continuation of also suffered for the first initial months just after Valentine's, but it rebounded very, very nicely in the summertime. All right, there's only 18 of them on the Steam market. What? Oh yeah, no, that still could perfectly rebound and do very nicely, even if I have to jump in and buy out the things to go up to $3 again. Don't you want to have your queen protect your base? Come on now. So, yeah, some of these are suffering. It's unfortunate, but they are suffering due to the fact that it's the Easter dip. Look at these again in the summertime. You'll see how that all turns out. But unfortunately, with the likes of these Lunar New Year skins, oof, they're not doing super great. Even the lantern has gone below $2. I did talk about this. You should expect something like this to happen. So the lantern has gone below $2. It's very unfortunate, but it's because a lot of people bought a ton of them the second that they became available in the Rust store, because we were seeing bar orders going all the way up to $4. A lot of people thought, oh, I could just buy some and then just instantly sell to those high buy orders. Well, 7 days later after their cooldowns, the highest buy order was like $2 something. Oh dear. Yep, so lots of people ended up unloading their stock and it's gone below $2.49 now. But the big surprising thing are the double doors that came out recently. I should talk about that garage door there as well. But yeah. So, you know how I made a big fuss talking about the sheet metal double doors during the likes of February, where, you know, of course, over the course of a 2-week span, we got 4 skins being accepted. Guys, they're back in the positive. They're back in the positive. Yeah. Panic over. Even when long double door did about 40,000 sales, up 23%. During the time period, we're expecting skins to struggle, to suffer, to go down in price. Nope. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Yep. So I would like to no longer see any more sheet metal double doors being accepted from here and now. We very likely might see one for Easter. 4 submissions were made, so keep an eye on that. But I just wanted to point out, that actually worked out quite alright in the end. Yes, this did go below $2. It was down to about $1.90 at one point. Well, now it's $2.61. Yep. I bought a lot of them, so I'm happy. I'm fine with that. I'm good. So that's fine. Let's also now go ahead and take a look at the likes of the neon garage door. So, I am very unsure of this skin. So you might look at that and say, oh wow, it's currently listed at $195, Hedge. I thought that you said that this was likely going to go down in price. And initially, yes it did. It was going down very hard. And then went back up. Now, I will point this out. I've seen some buy orders being put down by certain people, and some of the names I've seen happen to be names that I commonly associate with people who are involved with manipulations. I'm under the assumption this actually might be manipulated. I know. A skin as expensive as this? Yes. And a lot of people are probably sitting there by default and saying, Hedge, it was only available for 50 minutes, it's rare. It's not even the rarest garage door. I assure you that. I don't know what's going on. I do know it only did, at best, a couple thousand sales. But something's fishy going on there. Something really fishy is going on there. I haven't fully figured it out, but it doesn't seem fully legit. I don't see a ton of people going crazy for the skin itself. Apparently, the language used here is gibberish. Again, the notoriety of how it went down with the copyright situation probably definitely gave it a boost in terms of the attention it got. But to see it in this position after, what, like a month later? Something fishy's going on here. And I don't fully know all the details, but keep an eye on it yourself, alright? Keep an eye on that yourself. Again, if you feel like you know something, comment below. You're watching this YouTube video now, I'm sure. You've stuck around till, 48 minutes in to listen to me talk about this. If you have a good idea of what's going on, feel free to comment. So, yeah. Trending upwards. It's just kind of sitting around the same price at the moment for now. But could things suddenly get weirder? Could it go up to $300 at one point? I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on it, though. So, we'll see. Right, so is there anything else that needs to be addressed? Well, we could quickly point out the commits. So I'm sure you've been seeing some videos recently talking about the harbour updates. It really does look like it's pushing towards the likes that it's going to be ready for the April 4th swipe. We are seeing more mentions now of the tool cupboard retro skin. Looks like that'll be readily available for the April 4th swipe as of now. Sounds like that's going to be a DLC, so that's going to be interesting. We'll look forward to that. And there are a few more mentions of the likes of bikes. Electricity's getting fixed and changed a fair bit, so April's also looking to be very interesting. Technically speaking, we've got a brand new monument coming out. It's harbour, but it's a new harbour, and that's cool. So yeah, also SKS looks like we're getting a new well, was it, is it a semi-automatic rifle? It was Russian, wasn't it? SKS was Russian. Soviet small arms, yeah, okay. It's probably going to be a Warsaw Saw. Cool. Yeah, so we're getting an SKS into Rust, it looks like. That's fine, that's cool, nothing wrong with that. So, yeah. I probably need to talk about this now, don't I? Yeah, okay. The stickers haven't come out yet. We had a very weird situation happen. One of the teams was 9 Pandas, they were Russian. They couldn't make it. They had visa issues, so they got replaced. And whilst we know what the stickers look like, because they've technically been patched into the game, the actual stickers, or rather the sticker capsules, have not yet been released. But it was updated today to change the 9 Pandas team to Gamer Legion. And guys, you might sit and say, Hedge, why are you bringing up stickers now? It's Rust. Well, when those stickers come out, all your precious, pretty little Rust skins are very likely going to suffer quite badly. And the main point is that those stickers, they're borderless. They are desirable, and people are going to liquidate assets to chase after these stickers, alright? Guys, it's potentially going to be worse because the glitters this time round really do look very good. They really do look good. To kind of put it into context, these are actually a whole lot more achievable to get a hold of in the capsules. So, yeah, when it releases and when the 75% discount appears with the likes of that, oof, oh my, I cannot express how bad it could potentially get. And the sale very likely might last at least a couple months. Yeah. So maybe the summertime might not be good enough to help see the Rust skins improve and do better. Oh no. So I said this in my Rust predictions video. Guys, you have to keep an eye on your buy orders. You really do. Go double check every single recent Rust skin buy order that you've done. Make sure the prices aren't too low to where your buy order is. Because if you just leave it in such a position, well, unfortunately, you might get dumped on. And you might find yourself spending a ton of money that you didn't really want to spend. Please take this in consideration. You need to go double check everything. Alright? Everything. So, for example, in my currency, I put down an 84 penny buy order on this. The cheapest listing is now £1.03. The highest buy order is 92 pennies. Probably wouldn't take too much to get to my point, but it's still quite a distance away. I'll leave that for now. Because you also have to consider this. There's going to be a point where these skins can't go any lower. And then from then on, then they'll start to rise up in price. And then, you know, so begins the summer boost and whatnot. So, yeah, maybe you just want to keep them there and buy a few and pick them up for a cheap price that you might have offered and then consider removing the buy order. It's up to you how you go about it, but just be prepared and be warned. I've given you the heads up. All right, cool, perfect. So, that was a very long ramble for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We obviously talked a fair bit in regards to the skins here. We talked about the skins from the past, and of course we're kind of having to look into the future and expect where things might potentially end up at with the likes of potential dumpings, because people want to get Steam Wallet to chase after those brand new Counter-Strike 2 stickers. Yes, and don't be surprised, a lot of people who are involved in the Rust economy just so happen to also be involved in the Counter-Strike economy, alright? The Counter-Strike economy is the backbone of the Steam market as a whole, so yeah, don't be surprised at all. Alright then, so thank you very much for watching me today. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you had a lovely listen. Hope you have a lovely weekend. And, well, we're getting close to Easter time now. We're going to get that chicken costume. But it also doesn't sound like we're getting another... It doesn't look like we are going to get another Rustage egg. It does not look like it. It looks like we're only getting this. I'm not sure if the egg suit's going to get brought back. I'm not sure if the nest hat and the bunny hat are going to get brought back. We'll find out. But, yeah. Easter skins next week. And as I said, if you want to go see all the Easter skins without putting too much of an effort into, look at it all on the Rust Workshop, just go to scmen.app, go to the item workshop thing here. And as I said, you can see all of these for yourself, all on display like that. You can even zoom out. There you go. Doesn't that look nice? And yes, the vast majority of those Easter skins are deplorables. So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to you on your investments. Catch you later. See you and goodbye.